Humanity's outlying outposts have already fallen. The aliens have arrived on Earth. Only the best soldiers will be successful against the alien onslaught in Project Elite.
Welcome to Tantrum House Studio Awesome. I'm Katie.
And I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk to you about Project Elite. Project Elite is a tactical miniatures combat game with a real-time element from CMON and Artipia Games. It's for up to 6 players.
In the game, you'll take on the role of elite soldiers attempting to accomplish missions while holding off the horde of oncoming aliens.
There are 5 different types of missions that can be played, and each can be played on either map, on either side of the board.
The game takes place over the course of 8 rounds. At the beginning of each round, the players are going to have to resolve an event phase. Now, event cards may have nothing happen. They may move aliens. They could cause something bad to happen that persists until the players allocate dice to clear it. That sort of thing.
Then, during the next phase, players draw cards to spawn aliens and bosses. Each card indicates how many aliens of its type show up at which spawn point, and sometimes they'll indicate that the aliens spawned get an immediate activation of their abilities and movement.
After the aliens spawn, players will begin their timed action phase. Players will have 2 minutes to accomplish as much as possible by rolling their dice.
The dice results may allow you to move, or interact with a nearby search token to gather new equipment, or allocate the results to activate equipment or fulfill one of the objective tokens on the map.
You can keep rolling as much as you want, but there's a catch. Anytime you roll one of the red results, you have to stop what you're doing and move one of the aliens 1 space before you do anything else. And sometimes when you allocate dice to equipment or an objective dice, it will become locked and then it will be unable to be used further until the next round.
After the 2 minutes are up, the aliens get an activation phase, where they each use their abilities and then move. If an alien moves into a space with another miniature, they push that miniature into the next space. If it was one of the players, they take damage for each space that they are moved.
Then, at the end of each round, you will evaluate the victory-defeat conditions. If the players have completed their objectives, they win. But if the 8 rounds are over and one of the heroes have died, or if the alien gets to the player's start space, then they are going to suffer defeat.
Overall, I thought there was an interesting twist on the typical miniatures tactical combat games with the timed element. It definitely puts a spin on things. You can't over-analyze. You just gotta roll your dice and play with what you roll. The little alien movement results are very frustrating.
They are. I was going to say, for me, I made it feel like I was actually in more of a battle because I was doing as much as I could during those 2 minutes. But I was also rolling the movement for the aliens. So the aliens are like coming out at me. So it for me made it feel more like I was in some sort of battle because I'm doing stuff. They're coming at me. It's happening just as fast as I can do it. Just as fast as Ryan's doing it because you're playing. It's a co-op game. So occasionally Ryan's moving aliens that are in front of me and I'm like, oh snap, here they come.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'll just take the rest of my turn, very leisurely to take out this one alien. But then that one alien, you just won't roll any results to ever take them out.
Yes,
and
it could be a problem.
Sometimes you'll just get overwhelmed by all the aliens that are moving actually during your turn, and getting pushed is no joke because whenever you take damage, it accumulates to the point where you may die, but if it gets past certain thresholds, those thresholds lock some of your dice, and then you have fewer dice to actually roll, which makes it really difficult if you're trying to complete one of the objectives, because I believe most of the objectives take all 4 of your dice. So you might need to coordinate with another player to work on that objective, or try to search and heal, get some healing stuff in order to get your dice back.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about this that, I mean, I feel like that makes sense. Like, they've given you a way in game to show that you are wounded, and that is like keeping you from using all of your action dice. And I thought that was a really nice thing to add, to make it feel like you just can't do as much, because you can't do as much.
One of the considerations the players are going to have to make during the real-time phase is withdrawing equipment and alien tech cards. Whenever you search or whenever you defeat a boss, you either draw, when you search, you draw equipment cards. You draw 3 and keep 1. And when you defeat a boss, you draw 3 alien tech cards and keep 1. Well, you can do that during the real-time phase and have to make your decision while the clock's running, but then you can use it immediately if you have drawn something really amazing, or you can just set those aside and resolve them at the end of the action phase. So you've got to weigh, do I need this right now? Do I need to heal right now in order to fulfill an objective or something? Or should I just set this aside and worry about the time-consuming choice later?
Mm-hmm. And there's different modes of play in the, as in like levels of difficulty, maybe is what I should say. There's levels of difficulty, so I would definitely recommend starting out on easy mode. But there's also, it ramps up. You can make it harder, and it'll tell you how to set up each scenario differently, depending on how difficult you want to make it on yourself.
Yeah, so easy, medium, hard, there are different event cards that come out depending on the difficulty, and also you will be drawing a different amount of aliens and bosses. Also, depending on the number of players, the game scales up and down, so you may or may not have objectives in certain objective locations depending on the number of players. I think like 3 or 4 is probably the sweet spot, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, 6 would be crazy.
One of the things we found is I'm a slow person. I roll slow and I process slow. So this game was hard for me, especially since we had kids around. You really need to be able to focus without any sort of distractions.
At least for 2 minutes.
During that timed portion, if you want to be able to play well, because it can be quite stressful to be trying to process what's going on and also have external inputs trying to get your attention. So definitely try to play at a place that you won't be distracted.
Yeah. So. Well, that's true for any board game, really. But yeah, I thought it was a really nice way to really break up the game for me, was having the 2 minutes of crazy dice chucking and moving aliens and oh no, this guy is gonna get me, I gotta kill him, oh my time's running out, oh, it's crazy, and then okay, whew, all right, let's calm down, strategize, what are we gonna do in this next round? Okay, dice chucking, it's crazy. So yeah, it just sort of depends on what you're looking for. If you feel like you're really wanting a new twist on the cooperative, tactical, sort of defense kind of game, this would be a neat one to check out.
One thing I would say that I want to see come in some expansion material maybe is there wasn't really any story per se to the scenarios. Mm-hmm. It was just here's a different way you can play for each scenario. I would like to see more story and maybe an overarching campaign. But otherwise, it is a nice break from that usual tactical miniatures combat with the timed element. It definitely puts a whole new spin on things, gives you that additional stress
Yeah.
to your decision making.
Yeah. New campaign with maybe new board elements that come into that. I agree. I'd like to see that in an expansion for sure. But yeah, very interesting twist on this normal style game.
So overall, we really enjoyed it. I recommend you check it out, Project Elite, and be sure to stay tuned to our channel for more reviews like this one.